All right, had to get everything queued up. Good evening, good evening. We are back. We are back, brothers and sisters. Saturday evening. What is it? The 17th of February. I pray all is well. We're back. We said we're going to come here on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And here we are to talk about none other than the Money Game book, so black people can win and dominate. So, that's a very serious topic. There's a lot of components and dynamics to it that I've learned over the last, 40 years. And the book is just to give you a different perspective on money, a perspective from our advantage point, from our position, being black in America, looking through it through the lens of our sojourner here. I'm talking specifically about X, right? Children of ex-slaves, not immigrants who are from the Africa diaspora, right? So that's what we have to look at. We have to look at all the components, brothers and sisters, because see, we're living in that environment. We're living in an environment that was created from its origin of this country. And we can't do like many do in what the enemy wants to do. We're going to talk about the three enemies to you winning the money game. And the enemy wants us to let bygones be bygones and not to draw from the power and strength of that experience, the strength that got us through the experience. That's what I mean when I say on the back of the book, on the back of my book, those of you who have it, make sure you read it, because this gives you the spirit of the book. The spirit, not the content, the spirit of the book. And here on the back, I talk about the reason why, from my experience, from what I've seen, and I watch pretty closely. I try to be a very good student. Why we as black people don't need more techniques, strategies, how to get rich off of crypto, Forex, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter what it is. Real estate, which is my favorite, whatever it is. Why we don't need more of that? Yes, more of us need to be aware. But once we're aware, then what? I call it the front end, right? They sell us on the front end. They sell us on getting the bag. They sell us on just the objective of receiving. But what do we do when we receive it? And why it just seems like we're not able to maximize all these strategies, all these techniques, all these opportunities that are here. And I'm talking about as far as, the money game. The money game. Read my book. It doesn't talk about investments per se. It doesn't talk about getting a job. It talks about what do we do once we get the money? What do we do once we get it? And why even when we get it, we don't maximize it. It's not because we're black, skin black. It's because of our experience as a people in this country, in the prevailing environment, the environment that we experienced through slavery, that is still present, but is subtle. It's still present, but it's subtle. So on the back of the book, I phrase something that I got from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's called requisite knowledge. Requisite, not prerequisite, requisite knowledge. I say on the back of the book, that is the knowledge that you need to obtain prior to general knowledge. And that knowledge takes in consideration whatever our specific experience is here in America. The Nation of Islam calls that the knowledge of self. The knowledge of self. And that's you got to unpack that. That's more than just understanding the words. We have to understand the concept of the words. What does What does those words mean, those group of words mean as delivered and given by the person who gave them? What's their meaning for those words? See, that's why one of my, if you will, one of my principles that I've put together that's going to be a part of my philosophy, my marketing philosophy, is three parts. One is from Napoleon Hill or Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. Man just doesn't know how to think. You have to think. We used to say back in the day when I was coming up in the Nation of Islam, you have to be a thinker to walk with Farrakhan, sir. See, we have to be thinkers, meaning knowing how to think, the process of thinking, instead of people telling us what to think. Oh, you should hate Hamas. Oh, you should hate Farrakhan because he's an anti-Semite. He's a homophobic. He's Messiah. So you gonna tell me what he is, and tell me to hate him, instead of giving me the information or telling me where I can go get the information so I can think for myself. And because we've been browbeat and bullied, we don't even think for ourselves. We haven't been taught, first of all, how to think for ourselves. School doesn't teach you how to think, because then you'll challenge the school system. So man does not think. The other one is out of Proverbs, I think 4 and 7. Wisdom is a good thing to get, but of all these things get ye understanding. See, understanding and thinking goes hand to hand. What do I understand based on what I see? What do I understand based on what I hear? What do I understand based on what I'm experiencing? And now I can think through that process of understanding and then come up with a conclusion that's best for me, not us. Because if it ain't best for us, it ain't best for me, because me is part of us. Me is part of we. Me is included in the we. And if you look at the spelling of me, is M-E, and we is just the M upside down, W-E. So that's what we have to understand. And the third pillar of my philosophy, my business marketing philosophy, if you will, is from a sales creed. People have to know you, get to know you, they have to like you, and then they have to trust you. See, so that's the premise. We have to understand, brothers and sisters. If we understand and we be thinking people, see, thinking people can debate. Thinking people can have intelligent conversations, which means that you don't get emotional because you're relying on your intelligence. You're relying on rational thinking. You're relying on data for your conversation, not feeling and what I believe. Right? But when we're absence of knowing how to think, when we're absence of understanding, that understanding is the objective first. Then once we understand, then we have a better chance of reaching some agreement. Might not be total agreement. One of the things I learned many years ago in real estate investing is negotiation. See, negotiation is an agreement, but it's an agreement, partial agreement, meaning that nobody gets 100% of what they want. So it's an agreement, it's a partial agreement, but it's agreement enough to consummate the transaction. Does that make sense? All right. So that's not even in our subject. But anyway, 3 enemies, brothers and sisters, 3 enemies to you and I winning the money game. That's why we have to think, we have to understand the winning game. It's a game of money. The money game, not a money game. A money game could be crypto. That's a money play. Stocks, that's a money play. Your job is a money. See, it's money. It's money. Anything that has to do with money, it's a money game. But the money game, the ultimate money game, the absolute game of money. What is that? That's what we talk about here. We scratch the surface here. We crack atoms here. We start peeling back or further peeling back the onion here. And then you go out, as I say in the book, this is to raise your consciousness, help you look at the same thing from a different angle so you can go out and further the discovery for you, based on your desires, based on what you need for you, your family, and our community. So 3 enemies to you and I winning the money game. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us meaning black people, taught those who would listen, that everything has a natural enemy. Every creature has a natural enemy, meaning that enemy's nature is to be against you. It's your natural enemy, meaning its nature, its very nature is to oppose you. Its very nature is to stop you. Its very nature is to eliminate you. Just look in the animal kingdom. This is how they say it, dog eat dog world. So, brothers and sisters, see that we got to come to that realization. Because if we think that we're going to go out here and play the money game to win and dominate, not to play it not to lose, but play it to win and dominate. Playing it not to lose is playing it to have just enough. Just enough not to lose, meaning not to lose my house if things get rough. So I want to have a little cushion. Just enough. So I won't, if the cell bills continue to go up, then I can still afford to have it. I can still afford my cable and my internet. That's playing not to lose instead of playing to win and dominate. Because don't you know, brothers and sisters, if you play to win and dominate, you won't lose. You'll be the last to lose because you're playing for the highest level that you can possibly achieve. Right? I talk about that in the book. What is your God-given, check this out, what is your God-given financial potential? See, this is a paradigm shift book. Whoever talked about your God-given financial potential? Whoop, you put God and finance together? Requisite knowledge. 3 enemies. So Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, every creature has a natural enemy. And you and I have a natural enemy. You and I have a natural enemy that can't afford to see us win and dominate at the money game as black people, as a group of people. See, that's what we understand. Once the lid has been lifted off your head, and more lids and more lids and more lids and more lids, then we'll start understanding, what's really going on. Right? The higher you are in the sky, the further you can see, the better you can see. You can see things miles away. So let's cover these 3 enemies real quick, because I have something I need to do in about 6 minutes. And we'll be back, God willing, Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. We'll be in Detroit for Savior's Day next week. So we'll be coming live. We're going to find a way to come live. We're going to make time to come live, because the show must go on. Let's see. We got some chats up in here. Let's see. How you do this chat thing? Let me see. Stream. Let me get off private. Stream. Let's see what we got here. We still learning how to do this thing. Let's see what we got here, boys and girls. We don't know what we're doing. Tell me I got a chat, but background. Sorry, whoever's sending me a chat, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't see it because I don't know what I'm doing. As far as the chat's concerned, so we working. See, that's an example of the money game to win and dominate. You don't have to know it all. Just get out there and do what you got to do. Get out there and play the game. As long as you don't kill nobody. Say select a stream. Oh, okay, we'll get it together. See, if you waiting for a perfect time, it'll never come. Okay, we'll figure that out. Okay, 3 enemies, real quick, brother. Says 3 enemies to you and I winning at the money game. Number 1, I'm just going to brush on them quickly. Get the book. Get the book. Talk about it in the book. The number 1 best investment, because when I was a stockbroker, Daryl, what's the best investment? What's the best? The best investment is in yourself. The best investment is in your knowledge and your understanding of things that are vitally important to you and your family, in our community. After oxygen, which is provided by God, which represents inspiration, here in America, second to oxygen is money. If you breathing in oxygen and you're alive, you're going to need some money. Only time you don't need money is when you're dead, and even at that, somebody got to bury you. All right? So real quick, 3 things. Number 1, and go in details in my book. Number 1 enemy is interest. Interest that you pay on borrowed money. Interest that you pay on credit card, car note, house note. Interest that you pay on late fees. Interest that you pay. Payday loans. Interest that you pay. Appliances that you buy on credit. All credit. MasterCard, Visa, American Express, department store credit. Personal loans, interest that you pay. Interest that you pay. Enemy number 1. Enemy number 2 is inflation. Inflation. Things go up in price. Oh, man, I wish I had it. Let me see. Do I have it? Left it at the office. I'll come back and share it with you later. I was reading some information that I got from Ty Lopez, and he showed us and told us what how inflation, and he gave some statistics on inflation, on how it's gone up for, houses have gone up, 800%, I think he said, but your income and your salaries haven't even come close to that. You see what I'm saying? So once you learn the money game to win and dominate, then you start tuning into things that will give you clarity. So now your thinking can be more precise. Your decisions can be more accurate. And that's how you win and dominate. Things, you'll be surprised. Things will start coming to you. And I cover that in the book, a little metaphysics. Information will come to you that you didn't see before. It didn't come to you before. Now be why? Because you say, you know what? I'm going to buy Daryl's book. Go to the moneygamebook.com. I'm going to buy Daryl's book, and I'm going to study it. I'm going to be a student. Yeah, I'm making 100,000. Yeah, I'm making 150,000, but I'm always a student. I'm always a student. That's the humility we have to have. And those that win and dominate have that kind of humility. You just don't see it. So you think they're arrogant because they have nice cars, but you don't see the humility side of them when they're a student. Okay, so first one is interest. Second one's inflation. Inflation. If your income cannot outpace inflation, it's going to be hard, brothers and sisters. Because if all you have is your income, then you'll use your income to invest in, even if it's just your 401k. But you take your income and you use it as seed, S-E-E-D. I talk about that in the book. And you got to plant it somewhere to where it grows. Because if all you take is your seed, your money, and spend it on things that are not designed to grow, then you're killing your dollar. Your dollar does not live on and come back to you. You release it never to see it again. That's you can't win and dominate the money game like that. And the third enemy is what? Let me see. Interest, inflation. Oh yeah, how can I forget Uncle Sam? Taxes. And it's more than just income tax. Because the state of Texas doesn't have income tax, but we have federal tax. California, reading Tai Lopez's book, California has state tax plus federal tax. If you make enough income, your tax rate might be as high as 52%. If you're stupid enough to still live there. Okay, taxes. So we have to learn how to play the tax game to win and dominate. And not by cheating, because I talk about that in the book. Why cheat and go to jail? Or why cheat and have that mindset of a cheater, knowing you cheating? When there's rules that you can follow that does the same thing. Why go rob a bank, Daryl, when you can go get a job, go invest, go do real estate deals, and accomplish the same thing? Make money, earn money, generate money, but you're not robbing a bank. So learn the tax game so as you can legitimately write off your taxes. Zero taxes, near zero taxes, close to zero taxes, whatever the case may be. Because if you're paying high interest, if you're paying, high taxes, you're not sheltering any of your taxes, you're not reducing any of your tax debt beyond standard deductions and credits, child income credits and all that stuff. And then the other one, what's the other one? I forgot it already. Inflation. You don't have a strategy in place to beat inflation. You can't control your increase at your job. And if that's all you have, you're stuck. So by reading this book, it'll help us to crystallize where we are. The reality of where we are. Not perception, but the reality of where we are in the money game. And if you're okay where you are after you realize that I'm not, I'm paying interest. I'm not eliminating interest. I'm paying high interest. My credit card, if you use a credit card and you have a balance that's high. Majority of us, 26, 28% a year, APR. And it's rolling. It's rolling. Right? Then your taxes. You're not playing that game. And you're not playing the inflation game. So there's no possible way for you to win and dominate by not understanding what are the enemies to your and my winning at the money game. You cannot win any game. You don't know who your opponent is. You can't win any game if you don't know how the opponent plans on stopping you from scoring. See? Stopping you from scoring. Doesn't want you to score any points. That's the name of the game. Don't let your opponent score any points. 0 points. Let's shut them out if we can. So our enemy, who's been our enemy from the day we got here, is trying to shut us out. If we're spending 1.89 whatever trillion dollars in this economy, black people touch that money and we give it right back to go in their pockets so they can use it to win and dominate, because they know exactly what to do to win and dominate. We give that $1.9 trillion back. Do you really think, brothers and sisters, that they're going to sit back and let us wake up and take back that $1.9 trillion so now our children can have the best life possible of any human being on the planet, like theirs, with our money? You think they're going to sit back and let us take that money back over the next several generations and don't fight and kill and do whatever they can and everything they can and do what they have done to get it and keep it? You don't think they're not going to continue to do that or do whatever it takes so their future generations won't suffer? So their future generations can continue and perpetuate the power and the influence that they've established? You just think that they're going to sit back and let you and I do that? If you think that, they can't stop us. If you think that, they can't stop us, but they're going to try to stop. I say, do you think they just going to sit back and let us? No, they can't stop us if we come together, because God is on our side. So yeah, they cannot stop us. But they're going to fight like hell and do everything within their power to try. So it's our job to do everything within our power. And then the thing that got us thus far is our 100% faith in God, not in a vote, in our God, to give us the courage, the faith, the belief, and the fearlessness to challenge the enemy face to face. That's what it's going to take to truly win at the money game. The money game. What is the absolute game of money? It's to win and dominate, brothers and sisters. So, with that being said, we'll see you, God willing, Saturday. No, this Saturday, Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday we'll be in Detroit. We'll squeeze you in, maybe come to you live from dinner. How about that? All right. So, themoneygamebook.com got some free gifts over there for everybody that shows up. Doesn't matter if you buy the book or not, but shame on you if you don't, because you're wasting your time watching and not investing in expanding what it is that caught your interest, because you're letting a few dollars stop you. We will never win and dominate squeezing a dollar. We can only win and dominate because we understand the law of abundance and we release it with the full faith and knowing that if we continue to do the right things, it'll come back tenfold. TheMoneyGameBook.com. Get your 2 free gifts. Get the book. And as I say, I'll see you at the top. Not from the top, because you, your family, but most importantly, our Black community deserves your very best. All right, brothers and sisters, have a good night. We'll see you later. Peace.